trying to make this work here. All right. Typical Tim Carney fashion. Hey guys, I'm gonna be 10 minutes late. Can you tell Jen to hold off on the video? I received it at 6:01. We play a video at 6 o'clock. So, Tim, we've missed you. Thank you, and Lori, for everything that you guys have done. We love you. You're always gonna be part of the family, just like Elaine said. My Eastern PSEA friends and colleagues and honored guests, welcome. We gather tonight to celebrate because we share a common vision for public education in 2020, both here in the eastern region of Pennsylvania and indeed throughout this Commonwealth. A 2020 vision in which every student in our public schools, regardless of zip code or socioeconomic status, is provided an equal opportunity to achieve educational success. A vision in which every educator has the resources needed to empower our students to succeed. A vision in which every education support professional is supported and treated professionally. A vision in which every union member who works with our young people is provided with the dignity and respect that we deserve. At last year's kickoff celebration, we were focused on re-electing Tom Wolf, a governor who supports our association's mission, vision, values, and goals. And we were honored to host his running mate, our now Lieutenant Governor, John Fetterman. This year, because of Governor Wolf's victory at the polls, we now boldly and courageously enter a new era, not of trepidation, but of determination. An era of hope, an era of promise, an era of possibility. But we must work harder than ever to seize upon the opportunities with which we are presented. One way that we do that is by continuing to establish partnerships with like-minded organizations that share our passion. In the past, we have invited fellow labor leaders, radio personalities, community advocacy groups, and legislators to join us at our kickoff. This year, we are excited to host two organizations that truly change lives: Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Lehigh Valley and Reading Music Foundation. Two amazing groups that you will learn more about after dinner. Building these kinds of partnerships allows us to become a more visible, viable, and vital part of our communities. By raising our profiles, we can raise our voices from a whisper to a roar to advocate for the well-being of the members and students that we serve. What we do positively impacts our members as well as their families and the communities in which they live and we work. We are an integral thread in the fabric of society. We are the only union throughout this Commonwealth with members in practically every single neighborhood. We are the only organization completely dedicated to the betterment of those who work and learn in our public schools. And we are the only group of people who truly know what our students need. But despite all of this, we continue to fight the very same battles that we've been fighting for years. It will soon be 2020, and yet we still have school districts where putrid indoor environmental conditions are making our members and students sick. We still have buildings that are structurally unsafe and unsound. We still have classrooms in which the temperatures are so cold that students need to wear coats indoors or so hot that they get sent home early. We still have schools that are severely underfunded. And we still have districts in which educational opportunities and programs that have been proven to work for our students are being systematically and imprudently eliminated. As the experts in education, we know what works, as proven by the fact that very often, when improvements actually have been made, they have been a result of our local associations raising their voices collectively and using the power of their contracts to get those injustices remedied. Time and time again, our local associations here in Eastern Region and throughout this state have demonstrated that our union is indispensable when it comes to seeing that our public schools operate efficiently and effectively. For decades, We have shown that we are deeply committed to the success of not only every member we serve, but every student we serve. But with a new decade upon us, we have reached the point where we must raise our voices and declare enough is enough. We should not need to file agreements just to make sure that our students do not go to school in buildings that make them sick. We should not need to file an official complaint just to make sure that that broken step in the stairway finally gets fixed. We should not need to solicit online contributions through programs like Donors Choose or Clear the List just to have the basic resources to do our jobs. We should not need to organize with parents to demand that school boards provide their children with counselors and with librarians and with music programs and family and consumer science classes. And we should no longer need to urge politicians to listen to us. Rather, they should be actively seeking input and information from us so that they can interact with and learn from the most dedicated and passionate base of voters they will ever meet, our union members. That is why it is time for us to redefine the conversation, to make others take heed, to raise our voices and roar. We should never be afraid to raise our voices. In fact, oftentimes, it's the only way that anything ever changes for the better. Eastern PSEA, when we stick together and we advocate together, we win together. 1 year after the Supreme Court's Janus decision tried to exterminate our unions through judicially imposed attrition, external forces who care nothing about our members' well-being are still trying to convince those very same members to sabotage every right that they and their predecessors have ever fought for. But we are smarter than them. We were ready for their attacks. And as a result, last year, our region membership numbers actually increased. Woo! But now it is time for us to stop fighting back and to start fighting forward. Last year we fought to survive. This year we thrive. We must embrace an indomitable spirit and an unquenchable yearning for educational justice and social equality and become warriors for what we believe in. Our destiny is within reach if we choose to pursue it. We already changed lives. It's now time for us to start changing minds and hearts. We must educate the public about public education. Despite all the good that we do, ours is one of the only professions in which we always need to fight just to keep what we have, far less gain anything new. Think about it. No benefit, right, or protection that we currently enjoy has ever been given to us because our employers simply wanted to reward us for a job well done. In fact, even in the best of times, too many of our employers have tried to reduce our benefits and our assurances. The only thing that has stood in their way is our union. I grew up in a union. I grew up in a union family. My dad was seemingly laid off or on strike more often than he was actually working. And I know firsthand just how important every protection and penny is to our members and their families. Yet even today, in this profession, in this region, too many of our EA and ESP colleagues face similar financial struggles, often working extra jobs just to make ends meet. Some of them spend precious time away from their own children to spend extra time helping other people's children. But all of them devote their lives to doing some of the most important and heroic work in society, and they deserve to be compensated accordingly. That is why this association fights so vigorously and unapologetically to see that that happens. Belonging to this union does not give us fame, fortune, or glory, but it does give us power. The power to declare with one collective voice that our students and our members deserve better. We must spread this message loudly and clearly to those who will listen, and especially to those who won't. Fully and fairly funding public education is not a matter of money. It is a matter of priority. And we demand that our legislators prioritize stakeholders in public education over stockholders in private corporations. You need to ask yourself a very serious question. Does your lawmaker support the job that you do? And if not, why would you support your lawmaker? We know that they can adversely affect our jobs, but we must never forget that they know that we organize and we can vote them out of theirs. There was a repugnant, repulsive gubernatorial candidate last year who vowed to destroy our association. And together, we defeated him to the benefit of our students and members and working families throughout Pennsylvania. Now, with a re-elected governor who supports public education and inching towards a bipartisan pro-public education majority in Harrisburg, we must strive to make positive changes become permanent changes. The very best that we can do is the very least that we should do, because those who are counting on us deserve nothing less. Our potential should not and must not ever go unrecognized or underappreciated, whether by our detractors, our supporters, or even ourselves. We have a sacred duty and a moral obligation to say what needs to be said, do what needs to be done, and fight what needs to be fought. Eastern PSEA, we are here to stay. And to those who would see us fail because we have the audacity to stand up and speak out for those we serve, I say to you this: we will not ask for permission. We will not ask for forgiveness. Our mission is noble, our message is clear, and our moment is now. To paraphrase the contemporary poet Catherine Elizabeth Hudson Perry, you will hear our voice. You will hear a sound like thunder that is going to shake the ground. You have tried to hold us down, but we have had enough. We are all champions, louder than a lion, and you're gonna hear us roar. Thank you, Eastern Region.
God bless schools. God bless our public schools. God bless Eastern Region, PSEA.